and Mike, we met when I was cutting out of school. I used to go to Ships Bay High School, so I cut out of school, hang out with Shorty, Sammy. We used to go to all around Brooklyn's high school to pick up chicks, and eventually we went to Merrill, because one of our friends' girl was going to that school, was attending that school. So we went to pick her up from school, and then we met Mike over there, and eventually, for some reason, we became friends, really good friends. We started hanging out with each other almost every day. Still remember the time when we used to hang out down in Kings Highway Blimpies, which no longer exists, but it was like, all packed with Asians over there right after school. It was fun. It was really, good times. How old were we that time? We were probably like, what, 14, 15, 16, around there, just attending high school, freshman year. Everybody used to hang out there. And that's where Peter hangs out too, Cambodian Peter, with the Fukching gangs and all that stuff. And eventually, everybody that stayed around the neighborhood or lived around the neighborhood or went to school around the neighborhood, we're all friends. Eventually, we all split it apart and went our own ways, but we stayed friends, throughout these years. It was a very fortunate thing that we could still stay friends. Yeah, there used to be a lot of gangs that pass by do the same thing that we do, go around picking up girls. Always run into other rival gangs that come from Queens, Chinatown, and we used to chase them out, beat the hell out of them, kick the shit out of their face, drag them across the pavement, and leave them bleeding on the floor, and then we just run off, leave them where they at. But they kept on coming. They come back for revenge, for retaliation. But most of the time we take care of business. Brooklyn holds our own. We're pretty tough people in Brooklyn. And then by the time I was 17, I completely quit school, dropped out. And I had to leave my friends. The reason why I left my friends was because I don't want to give them that type of trouble. When I was 17, that was when my uncle, Peter Chen, got locked up. The feds came on a RICO charge. So he got locked up to 30 years. He did 20 years, but out of the 30 years, but they locked him up. And when they locked him up and his whole crew up, I figured that, hey, Uncle's not around, even though it's sad that he's not around, but I could go down to Chinatown. I could go and do my thing. And my thing was that at the age of 10, my father was gunned down. My father was like the brains of Ghost Shadow, was giving them hits, how to deal with business, how to run gambling parlors, how to do deals with other rival gangs, without causing any problem. My dad was all about making money. That's what the Ghost Shadow did, because they had the bronze, but they don't have the brains. So my father was the brain, and he was the third person in that position that passed away. Everyone in that position, they took him out. For some reason, Ghost Shadow was strong enough because they were like in New York City. They were like the gang of gangs. They actually ruled the other gangs because they didn't care about death or anything. They would just go out. You want war? We go war. That's it. You got guns? We got war. You got people? We don't care. We're ready to die. That's their concept back then. So that's why in New York City, the Asian gangs, Ghost Shadows was one of the most notorious of all. So my father got gunned down, and throughout these years, ever since the age of 10, all I thought of was revenge. Revenge. I don't care if my father was, if he was a bad guy or a good guy. The only thing I see was that he was my dad. He was my father. And somebody took him away from me, I want that person dead. So I waited the opportunity. Eventually, my uncle got locked up, so went down to Chinatown, joined a gang, and joined a crew with Robert and Robin. And Robin was my dado at that time. He was appointed by my uncle to take over, and not to embarrass the Ghost Shadow name. Even though they were in jail, they said, make us proud. Don't embarrass us. So that's how I became a member of the Ghost Shadow. I did my time because when in 1991 they came down with the RICO investigation, another racketeering, because there was a few bodies that was a homicide that was caused by the Ghost Shadows. The Mobile gas station in East Broadway, the LaCue incident, and there was some other shootouts and that was all involved with the Ghost Shadows, like the BTK, the Born to Kill gang. We had two of our members that died in Winnie's Bar, a very close friend of mine. And then we took it out on the other BTK members. We hired other people from other states because he was bearing down on us from NYPD and the feds. So we had to call for outside help to mask up that it wasn't us doing it. But eventually the feds knew everything. All right. Once we got locked up in 1992, everything came to light. And that's when I started doing time. In the beginning of 1993, actually. Didn't come home to the beginning of 2001. So I came home just on time to see the two buildings fall. And did time in the beginning was MCC, Metropolitan Correctional Center. And then eventually after I got, I was waiting for them to the big house was when I was at Otisville. Stayed at Otisville for 18 months, and then once I got sentenced, shipped me to the big house. Went to Lewisburg. Lewisburg, I went to see. I ran into Wong Zifai, Tongan's #1 guy, that got life, and then I stayed there for 6 months. Shipped me to West Virginia, and then from West Virginia, I did a few years there. In the feds prison system, it's kind of funny. You can't stay in one place more than a couple of years, because you get too familiar with the place. You might, and the feds are not common criminals. They're all freaking pretty much masterminds or very deadly criminals. So they like to move us around to other prisons to make sure that we're not unfamiliar with the environment. We don't get too good with the COs, eventually pay them off, try to escape or something like that. So I requested to go to Allenwood, where nobody wanted to go to Allenwood Medium. The reason why I wanted to request to go to Allenwood, number one, it was closer to home. Number two, my uncle was there. But nobody dared to go see him, because everybody during my time cooperated with the feds in some way when they got locked up. The whole damn Chinatown was locked up when I was there. Flying Dragons were locked up. Tongans, Fuk Ching, Bafu, whatever, all the gangs, all Chinglong. Chinglong was already in the max. They sent their ass to Marion and Lampak and all those really high security jails. So they were doing triple life or whatever the hell they got, or a couple 100 years. So Green Dragons were off already. So the other ones were Tongans, Flying Dragons, Bafu, Fuk Ching, Ghost Shadow, and what else? Yeah, that's about it, right? Yeah, and some BTK, a few of them, yeah. So we were all locked up in the same freaking prison. Most of us majority of us was awaiting a sentence, were shipped to Otisville in upstate New York. Eventually, the rival gangs that we were back in the street, we became friends. Yeah, like the Flying Dragons, Mikey, Sticks. We hated each other when we were in the streets. Fat Danny, we didn't like each other. Cowboy, Cowboy actually became like my big brother, He took care of me, when I first went into jail. Ox was there, So all the Fat Henry and them, so we all became friends. For some reason, maybe we grew up in the same neighborhood. We did the same thing. We dated the same girls, So we actually became really good friends. Up to today, we still talk. After we came back out of jail, we see each other occasionally, and every time we see each other, it's like, yo, we're long lost brothers. We give each other really big, powerful hugs. You know, it's a strange bond, but from enemies to friends, it was pretty good. I consider it very nice. Like some of the Tongans that we didn't like each other at all. Sonny, the head of Tongan, Akwan, we didn't like each other. We had a run-in Atlantic City one time. They almost kidnapped my sister. And I told them that, you know, this ain't business, this is personal when it comes to my sister, my family. I'm going all out. Even if I have to die, I'm taking at least 10, 20 of you motherfuckers with me. So I put 3 of them in the hospital. One of them with a cracked skull. We started shooting everything. That's eventually led to the mobile gas station incident. And the Lakil incident, where there's 3 Tongans that got gunned down. Eventually I got my sister out of there. No harm done. But we had to run in Atlantic City. Then they asked us, you know, why I gotta keep on doing this. That's because you disrespected me. You play with my family. When you play with my family, you try to harm my family, you guys are done. I'm not giving up. Either you take me out right now. You got more guys than me right now. That's why I said to him in Atlantic City. I said, but 10 of you guys here, there's only 3 of us. My friends, let them go. You can have me. You take me down. But all you motherfuckers are going to be doing 25 to life. You know, it's fine with me. For my life, for the 10 of you, it's worth it, I think, you know. But they backed down. They said, you know, they want a truce. I was forced to go into a truce with them. But eventually, I said, fuck the guys from Orléans. I said, you know, fuck these old bastards, you know. They ain't the ones that down the street. They don't know the struggle. So I said, fuck to them. I said, you know, we're continuing. War is war, all right? Until somebody really gets on their freaking knees and beg for forgiveness, we're not stopping. That's our motto. Those shadows do not stop. We're coming after you. We're coming after you all the way. You know, until you guys, you know, get on the floor and start begging. Get on your knees and start begging. Right? You don't want to beg? Even if you beg, if I see something devious, we're going to just pop you in the goddamn head. You know? We ain't going to give up like that. So that's, well, all that bad stuff, that's what landed me in jail. We're a minority in there. We're a minority in America. All right? So if we're not there to help our own people, you know, Asian cultures are a little bit different. No matter how bad you are, you still remember that, hey, Asia's supposed to stick with each other. I didn't care if he was BTK or Vietnamese or whatever, or Cambodian or whatever, or if he's from Taiwan, if he's from Indonesia. As long as he has slanted eyes, yellow skin, he's one of us, all right? And we got to watch each other's back. If we don't do that, we turn against each other. They're going to pick us apart one by one. You know? There's more blacks, there's more whites, there's more Hispanics in there. So we can't allow that to happen. We let people step all over us. The next crew that's going to get locked up eventually, Asian people are going to get locked up too. You know, in United States society, it's a big freaking business, right? So we can't allow that to happen. Step over us, we allow that to happen. Next party, the next generation, they're going to get really freaking painful. They're going to get the hurt and fall because of us, because we gave them the opportunity. We opened the door for them to beat up on us. Yeah, there was an incident when I was in West Virginia. It was like majority of that place, West Virginia, you know, hillbilly place, you know. Shit, you got whites and blacks, some Hispanic. It was like 5 Asians altogether. There's one from Phuoc Cheng, 2 from Phuoc Cheng, 1 from Flying Dragons, me, actually 3 from Phuoc Cheng, including Henry. Henry from Phuoc Cheng Henry. Now, you should know him. What happened was that he was messing around with, let me start with the DC jails, the Commonwealth jails. We were in the federal jails, federal prison. DC Commonwealth prison shut down. So they sent a whole bunch of freaking DC boys that were selling cracks, you know, lower street level gangs into our prison. So there was a whole lot of them, 30, 40 of them, and they were pretty rowdy. And one of our prison mates was Henry, Fuching Henry. He was all flashy, always flashing his Versace glasses, his watch. I don't even know why the hell he had a watch. We're in freaking jail. It's not like we're gonna, hey, it's time to go home, shit. We're gonna be there for, next 10, 15 years. What the fuck you need a watch for? So he's all flashy, always, trying to think that he's still in the street. And the way he carries himself, to be honest, too Versace, a little bit feminine. So you can't act like that. You can't walk like that in jail. People think that you're gay. They might, they say, oh, there goes our booty, So inside jail, our hustle was poker tables. Relying on our families to send us money for commissary is out of the question. We know how much we burden them already, emotionally. We can't burden them financially. Just eating out of the mess hall, that's a no-go also. Sometimes you just can't eat that food. So you're gonna have to go through hunger. Starve overnight, go to sleep being hungry. So in order for us to make a hustle, get some commissary money, get some cigarettes, start a gambling business inside. Running sports tickets, football, basketball tickets, poker table, that's how we make our money. And Chinese people are known for gambling, and we're good at it too, So a lot of whites and blacks, usually lose most of their freaking money to us. Sorry to say that, but you guys are fucking dumb when it comes to gambling. So Henry wanted to start a gambling table. So I said, go ahead, do your thing, run your hustle. But he was stupid enough to get in partners with the DC boys. And we told him, be careful, these guys are fucking dirty bastards. He won't listen. Eventually, they robbed him, and they were about to attack him, about to gang rape him. We found out about it, so the five of us went out to talk to the DC, the head of DC gang. But before we went, there was a 10, 15 blacks from Flatbush, Church Avenue, from Brooklyn, and they came up to us and said, "Yo, Chino, you heard you guys got some problem with the DC boys, we're right behind you, we're from New York, we stick together, fuck that shit." So I appreciated that, that was really heartwarming that we stuck together as a New Yorker. So we went to see the head of DC boys, and we told him that this shit ain't happening. You fuck him in the ass, that means you can fuck anybody, and you can fuck the next Chinese guy that comes into jail, and you can do whatever the fuck you want with him. It ain't gonna happen, The only way you're gonna do it, you're gonna fuck a dead body. You can do it after that, but you got 40 of you guys, we got 5. Me alone, I'm gonna take at least fucking 4 of you motherfuckers out. Right? I'm not good at that, but I will stick those fucking shanks in you. Right? I go down, 4 of you guys going down. After I'm dead, you can fuck my ass. Right? But while I'm alive, you ain't getting shit. Right? That's how we roll. All right? We go. We know if we go, we're pushed to the corner. We're going all out. All right? If it means death, let it be. Let it be. We thought we were invincible. Actually, we're not. As you can tell, I'm freaking old now. But those were my days when I was young. I really didn't care. Really didn't care. Death was not a problem. It was the glory. Why we're at that moment. The glory at that moment. In the beginning, it was, I was actually in jail with Herbie Sterling, the French Connection, Meyer Lansky's boy, #1 guy, the first French Connection. So the Italians had a lockdown back then with heroin because they came from Algeria, wherever, or Afghanistan. But when the Chinese came into power and started rising in the Asian gangs, they all came from Thailand, the Golden Triangle. And for some reason, the heroin that comes from that region is much potent, much more profitable. So everybody was fighting for it, but Chinese had the first hand because Chinese people grew it, packed it, and shipped it. And the people that shipped it over here was the Big Circle gang. They had a lot of people that was on, container boats and all that stuff. So they shipped it over. But in order for us to get it, each gang had to claim for it. Had to claim how many bricks they want for that month. And there wasn't that much to divide out of. Everybody eventually became more and more greedy. There was like 500 to 1,000 bricks. Everybody had to fucking fight for their share, to claim for their claim. It's like the Irish people back in the 1900s, early 1900s, 1800s, to claim land to the west. That's how we were, beating the shit out of each other, killing each other just for that couple of bricks. But each brick, we probably bought it for like around 65,000 during that time. And the highest number that we ever sold it for, that I sold it for, was 140. It was more than double the price for one brick. And one brick is pound and a half. Pound and a half was what one brick. And each brick they could step on it, which I mean step on it, that means they could cut it into at least 6 to 7. So it means one brick could turn into 7, 8 bricks. And that's a lot of heroin to start selling on the street. Very profitable. And that was the main reason that Chinatown gangs were at war during that time. It wasn't about territory. During the late 80s and early 90s, it was all about heroin. It was all about heroin. Who claims the most and who could sell the most and who could be the flashiest. Flying Dragons were very successful. Tongue Lads were very successful. We were kind of successful. We weren't really too much into it because we still had a lot of gambling houses, which generated a lot of cash. We had some whore houses, prostitution, loan sharking, and some other stuff. Like what I do. Used to rob drug dealers. That's what I do. I hear you got drugs, I'm coming after you. Right? Don't even claim that you have money. I know that you have money and you're a gangster or you're a player. I'm coming after you. I'm gonna stake you out, record down where the hell you hang out, put down your schedule and everything, and find the right place to hit you and grab you and find out where your money is at, or where your drugs at. I started that when we were kids. Remember Hati Jai, the Baba Jai? They used to get a pang. So those guys used to do drugs, right? That's what got me into fucking doing drugs too. That was fucking some bad shit. But I didn't do drugs during that time. I was after the money and the drill. It was very exciting. We used to grab some crackheads and ask them, where's the freaking crack spots? There was some money there. I'll get you some crack. I'll get you 100 vials, 100 those red caps or blue caps. So he would walk us up there, and we would just fucking pull the gun and say, "Yo, we're taking everything." And we took a couple $1,000 this here and there, grab a couple 100 bags, a couple bags of that filled with 100 caps of crack in there. We just gave some to the crackhead. The rest we sell it back out on the Chinatown. We got the cash. We just go out and hang out. Play games, video games down at Penn Station. You remember those days, Penn Station. We were just kids, but we did it to make money to go and play. Go eat pizza, go eat Korean food. Remember Korean food? We used to go to Gangsi, that place. They shut down already. And then we go down to Penn Station and play video games. And then run back down to Chinatown and rob some more people for it. So that's what we do. The worst thing, the other worst thing that we used to do is that we used to drive around Park Avenue. As kids, we knew some Italians that knew some that opened some chop shop, auto parts. So what we do is that we go to Park Avenue and drive around with a beat up freaking car. I see a nice freaking brand new Benz. They didn't have no freaking a North Star or cell phones back then. We just go right to the driver's seat, pull the gun on them, get the fuck out, and drive off to Staten Island and get a couple of grand off of that car. That's how we used to do it. They used to call us the Chinese sticker boys, So we were sticking up everything, cars, jacking cars, We don't go freaking hot wiring anything. We just go fucking right on Park Avenue. You just grab the fucking car, get the fuck out, drive to Staten Island and get paid right on the spot. Dominicans, that time was really bad. We kind of were beaten in the heat by the feds, so we stopped dealing drugs during that time. What happened was that two of our friends, Taiwanese Mike, we call him Bunga Mike, excuse me for a minute, and Taiwan Zai Gum Zai. So these two assholes somehow found our contacts, because those Dominican guys were our contacts. And they they pretend that they were us, and they went and made a deal with them. And what they sold to the Dominicans were actually a box of VHS videotapes. So once they sold it to them, and the Dominicans found out that it wasn't heroin, they grabbed them. But they already took the money. The money went to another party. So there was this is how the deal goes. It goes like this: one set of party delivers the drugs. The other set of the party delivers money to other members. So it's swapping, but in a different location. So the money already went to Gum Zai and Taiwanese Mike. But these two idiots would somebody else that was picking up the money, and these two idiots actually grabbed the freaking videotape and delivered the videotape, which got fucked. They said they claimed they didn't know. They were being jacked too during that same time. But the Dominicans knew that these people belonged to us. So they called us and said, hey, you want them alive, you got to bring this type of money back to us. And we told them that it ain't our deal. It ain't our deal. We never dealt with you guys. We told you we're stopping for the time being. So BJ found out, Bradley Joe, which died already. He was my uncle's crew, which did some time in Elmira. And we always suspected he was an informant to the FBI's. So we never really, cared about him that much. But he's always roaming around. We don't have hard evidence. What you gonna do? Fucking just by assuming that he's a fucking informant, you're gonna kill him? You can't do that. And he was really good friends with my dad. So I couldn't do it. He was good friends with my dad. Even if he was, I don't think I could have done it, because he was like an uncle to me. Also, I really couldn't kill him if he was an informant. To be honest, he treated me nice, and he was still he's a heavy gambler, and all these years he still wore the ring that my father gave him. So that's how close him and my father was. So I really respected that. That's why I couldn't bring myself to kill him, if even if he was a fucking informant. But he did set me up. He used my name to 5th Precinct and made a report. And the cops came and grabbed me and forced me to go freaking rescue. I was holding bulletproof vests. I got my freaking guns ready. We were gonna go up to Jackson Heights and rescue our friends from the Dominicans. But the cops grabbed us, and they didn't lock me up for the guns. They just confiscated it. But they grabbed me into 5th Precinct, and they eventually sat me in their fucking police car where they were doing a SWAT rescue with our friends. And I was set up by BJ. And my name is still in that goddamn fucking incident that embarrassed me to today. Why would I ever fucking go to the NYPD to help? You think I can't take care of that shit myself? We were all ready to go, and guns blazing. Fucking like the young guns. We were ready for that shit. So that was the thing that happened with the Dominicans. It was sad. It wasn't supposed to be dealt that way. Not with we shouldn't be having police involved. We have our ways of doing things, even though it's not the right way. But to me, that was our way. And eventually, Taiwanese Gum Zai got killed anyway, because he was doing some shady deals with other people. His body was left in LIE, all the way up in Lawrence somewhere in LIE, and we know that it was unrecognizable when they found him. Somehow they got the dental records and said that that's him. But We told them stop dealing with this shady stuff. Stop trying to, con people with heroin because you're fucking with drug dealers. Drug dealers don't play. They're gonna kill you. And eventually they did. Hope he learned his lesson in afterlife. BTK were a bunch of nuisance. To us, they were like fucking kids running around, fucking creating chaos. We were established at that time. All the gangs in Chinatown or Queens or Flushing or whatever, selling drugs. All about making money. They were about causing problems. They were trying to come up, make a name for themselves. But a few of their members, older members, used them to make name, and the older member was actually selling cocaine. They were selling cocaine with the Spanish. So they always started trouble with us because they want to take over our territory. For some reason. I can give you the damn fucking territory. You're not going to be able to survive in there. Store owner's not going to listen to you. Nobody's going to support you with the gambling house. Nobody's going to go to your fucking gambling houses. All right? You have to be Chinese in order to be Chinese. Back in the days when I first got off the fucking plane, my dad and mom had to speak Toisan in order for them to get a fucking goddamn job in Chinatown. And by you being a Vietnamese, you think you're going to survive in that area during the 80s and 90s? No. They're not going to let you. They're not going to accept you in there. But the BTK, there were a bunch of nuisance, and we had to, all the gangs, all the Asian gangs, the Chinese gangs, I would say, combined together. We had a meeting. I said, our side, our gang, Go Shadow, we never go in partners with anybody. We just tell them, you know what, you do your thing, don't worry about us. We'll take care of our own, all right? But don't worry, we're not friends with no fucking Vietnamese gangs. So Tong An and the White Tigers gang up together. The Flying Dragons, just as proud as us, they said, nah, we don't need nobody. We are on our own. We could take care of our shit. So each individual gang, in some way, combination or individual, they were going after them, the Vietnamese. The Vietnamese did not have a really good chance against all these well-established Asian gangs in Chinatown. Eventually, their boss, the big guy, Amigo, he got gunned down. And he didn't even have a really good proper burial because the Asian gangs actually freaking light up the whole entire cemetery during his fucking funeral. A lot of his guys got killed. They actually killed him, wrapped him in fucking body bags and just threw him back out on Canal Street where they used to sell those fucking fake bags. We just dropped them out in the trash cans. It was a horrible death for them, but it had to be done because they think they were tough. They're not the only one that fucking grew up in the jungle that knows how to fight guerrilla warfare. We grew up in Chinatown, same shit. Brooklyn, Flushing, and Chinatown, same shit. Guerrilla warfare, that's how we invented that shit. All right? Not Vietnam, we invented that shit back in the 60s, 50s and 60s. All right? Actually, even before that, back in Hip Sing, they invented that shit, guerrilla warfare. So they can't even come close to the Asian gangs. And when the Asian gangs, they fight among each other during peace. When there's nothing happening, they always bicker. Chinese people are always like that. Oh, I don't like you, you don't like me. I got something against you, you got something against me. But when it comes to outside adversary, we always line up together, combine together, and we go after. We're going to protect our own. That's how us Chinese do it. At our first times, we do stick together. That's one thing good that I'm glad about. I just don't like the part where there's nothing happening, when peaceful time, we got nobody else to fight. We start fighting against each other. We start arguing with each other. That's a really strange way to strange culture, right? Yeah. I believe it all started back in a couple thousand years ago when they had the 7 warring states. It's embedded in our freaking DNA that we have to fight against each other. And when there's outside invasion, we stand together and fight outsiders. I think that's how we are. Well, that's how this freaking world is right now, actually. I think we need a space attack from aliens in order for us common humans to combine together and fight the adversaries. Right?
All right. Ken, this is take two, teenage years.
How we started was with Shorty, Peter, Cambodia Peter, with Lobatao, freaking Robert, you know, and Mike. We actually, it's like every other family, American family. I grew up in New York City. We didn't have much money. We were just kids, 15, 16 years old, going to high school. We met at the high schools, you know, we became friends because we're, after all, minorities. But that wasn't a thing. We had a common grounds. Our parents were never home. It was just us. So what do? Round up 50 cents and go buy handball. We go play handball all day long. And that's how we became a group of friends, you know. We share a soda, or 5 of us, we should share a soda. We had no money, you know. Scrape up enough and buy soda here, a hot dog, everybody take a bite out of it, you know, and we just play handball all day long until parents get home and we go back home to have dinner. And as our friendship grew, we relied on each other more and more. We start looking out for each other. Like Mike, me and him hang out a lot. We're always like, you know, we went to different schools, but we always end up in Merrill High School. That's where we all met up. That's where me, Shorty, and Mike used to hang out. And Cambodia Peter would be driving his car, coming down and say, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And we'll be like, "Yo," hanging around his car, looking all cool, you know how teenagers are, trying to pick up chicks. Robert goes to Merrill. He comes out, he joins us, you know. He usually cuts the last period, comes out and hang out with us and wait for the majority of the people to come out. But we were not the only group that was, you know, trying to go around high schools and pick up girls. Other gangs too. So they come, you know, we give each other a stare down. You don't like me, I don't like you, or maybe we ran into each other before in the pool halls. You know, as kids we like to go shoot pool. We were pretty good at it. We were hustling too, make some money off of gambling and playing games, shooting pool with other people, and then eventually maybe 1 or 2 of us have some run-ins with other gangs, and one of us fight, we all fight. There was an incident where me and Mike was waiting for people to come out, our friends to come out from the school, and for some reason somebody snatched his beeper and he turned around. I wasn't looking because I was talking to a girl, and they said, "Yo, Kenny, this fucking guy took my beeper." So we ran after him, we beat the shit out of him right underneath Avenue M's train station, and just by him beating him down and to the floor wasn't enough. We had to stomp him in his fucking face. We were just violent. We wanted to see some blood. Right? Then we're satisfied when everybody say, "Oh yeah, Kenny and Mike beat the shit out of that fucking guy." That's one point to prove, and another point is that don't fuck with us. We're not some common kids that you can fuck with. We could take care of our own, and we come in packs. Like in pool hall, Triangle, going to Triangle, we used to hang out there a lot. I had a run-in with some cops, off-duty cops. John Gore, Lyndon. Lyndon was actually dating one of our high school friends. Her name was Kelly. So one of my friends, One-Eye John, finds Kelly attractive and, you know, start talking to her. But Lyndon, she was dating, starting "What the fuck you looking at my girl for?" And then we started saying, "If you don't want us to look at your girl, fucking hide her home, you know? Don't fucking bring her out. Keep her in a fucking closet or whatever the fuck, you know? Don't bring her out if you don't want people looking at your girl." So they started arguing, and eventually a fight broke out between John Gore and another guy named, it's a White Tiger. I know he was White Tiger. I forgot his freaking name. And Lyndon. So it was us 3 against them 3, and John, my friend, had a piece of a 25 caliber on him. He pulled it out, but got knocked out of his hand. I picked it up and I stood on top of John Gore. I was about to shoot him, and all of a sudden it was like all I heard was "freeze" from 20-something guys. I turned around, I saw all blue jackets pointing their guns at me. It's like probably 15 to 20 guns pointing to my head. I was like, all right, I dropped it. I don't want to die right now. So I dropped the gun and then they took me into the precinct. And they beat the shit out of me. So when I went to court, the female judge actually said, saw me as I was a scrawny little kid. They said, who the hell beat up this kid like that? Take him to the hospital. I want that medical report. And I'm going to drop the charges because he's a minor anyway. And it's his first offense, so they dropped the case on me. Actually, they brought me back and they said, we're not going to pursue the charges, but you're going to have to do 50 hours of community service. And that's what I did. But me and Shorty was the closest out of all of us. We did some extortion in some Chinese restaurants in Brooklyn, and we were being hunted down by, wanted by the cops. So we went into hiding. We actually slept in an apartment with nothing there, no TV back then. No TV. We only had a beeper. Every time we make a call, we have to run downstairs to the phone, the public phones to make a call. And we had nothing to eat. All we ate was freaking gong zai mean for the whole entire month, just the two of us. So that's a sad life. It was sad teenage life. But the heartwarming thing is that we stuck with each other. We were like brothers without, from different parents. We comfort each other. We made each other comfortable. But maybe that's a good thing, or maybe that's a bad thing, because we also encouraged each other to do some bad stuff. And then when I left, when I was 17 and Shorty was like 15, I left Brooklyn to go into Chinatown. That's when I said earlier that, my uncle got locked up. It was my turn to go down. So he got into some trouble. He got locked up for suspected homicide. Right? So he was in Rikers Island, C-74, Mod 8. And then I got locked up for some stupid shit because I was robbing people. I was robbing gambling houses. I was robbing drug dealers. I was robbing crack places, crack spots, robbing cars. And eventually they caught up from Army. They somehow they surrounded me at the massage parlor. I robbed the massage parlor and they surrounded me and they got me. And when they got me, I got locked up. I was sent to Rikers Island also. And I was when I was in a different unit. A fight broke out, so we had to split up the whole entire unit. They moved me to Mod 8, and that's when I saw Shorty. And once we saw each other, it was like, oh my God. We gave each other a big damn hug. And then once I saw him, I said, yo, you fucking living large over here. I said, you ran shit over here. It was like, he was the boss of Mod 8. It was pretty funny, inside jail, he was running everything. First thing he asked me, oh, you need to call moms? I got the phone locked down. He got a whole bunch of slot time. We call phone time slot time because everybody has to sign in. But he was the one that was in charge. He had everything locked down. If he didn't like you, you're not going to use the phone. So that's how it was over there. And he offered me food, offered me slippers, offered me towels, soaps. Shampoo, took care of me, because I was doing that unit. He was the king of that unit during that time. It was funny, but it was also sad because he had to do a lot of time. He did, I guess it was 13, 14 years out of the 21 years. And I did, for that state bid, I did 18 months. And when I was about to get released, the feds came and grabbed me. Start talking to me because of my affiliation with Ghost Shadows. But they didn't have nothing on me. They grabbed me and then released me. But then 2 years later, they came and kidnapped me again. They actually kidnapped. They came in an unmarked van, all with masks, ski masks. Didn't show no badge. They grabbed me. They grabbed me to Helmsley Spears, West 19, West Side Highway, 19th Street, West 19. The second floor of the garage. Right behind the garage, it was a secret door, and it was a fucking one of the feds' field operation headquarters. So then once I knew that these guys are fucking cops, I figured that they were cops already. If they would have wanted to kill me, they would have killed me on the spot. Why would they grab me in their fucking van and take me to somewhere to fucking kill me? They would just shot me right there and just would have got away. So I knew they were cops, but I didn't know they were feds. So they started asking me questions. I started laughing at them. I said, "You guys are fucking funny. I'm just a kid. You ain't getting shit out of me. I don't even know shit." Then they started telling me that I know who you are. They know my father, how my father died. They try to lure me into talking about my father, getting me angry, and especially as a kid I might be weak-minded. But when your father passed away at 10 years old, you started to understand how evil and how devious this world is. So whatever the fuck they come at you, you already know what's going on. You've been there, done that. You've seen it all. You've seen so many different types of personalities throughout that time because you were forced to grow up. Your dad got fucking gunned down. You must grow up too. And I was the only son in the family during that time. So I automatically knew what they were. They wanted me to explode the guts on my people. I just laughed at them because I was the youngest out of the whole crew. The whole Go Shot, I was the youngest. I said, "You got the wrong person. I just got out of jail. I know nothing. All right? I just got out of jail for my own stupidity. So if you want some answers from me, I can't give you none because I don't know none." So eventually, after 24 hours, they released me. So I went back and told my boss, Robin, about what happened. He said, "Don't worry about them." Because we thought we were invincible. But eventually, they opened a file on us already. They were ready to come. They were coming out at us. But they had to gather enough evidence. And eventually, they got enough evidence because of the couple killings that we had with the Tongan, with the BTKs. So that's when they came down with the RICO charge in 1992. And they came and grabbed us. They got all of us but one away. Away got away. And I was happy that he got away. But everybody else was all locked in. And the funny thing was that I grew up with this guy, this guy named Stephen Law. He was actually Chong Tao, Flying Dragon, the head of Flying Dragons, the boss of Flying Dragons, brother-in-law. And his little sister was Lily. Lily was actually Lily and Steve was always staying at my house because they had some disagreement with their father. Their father was really difficult to live with, so they was always sleeping at my house. My mom was always taking care of them. So to me, they were like my brothers and sisters. Lily's husband, Lily actually married one of our guys from the Ghost Shadows. His name was Kenny Wong also. All right? That was the funny thing. But he was, compared to me, he was like a altar boy. And I was like the devil. I couldn't even walk in the fucking church. But he did sell some drugs. He was selling cocaine during that time. And also, Lily just gave birth to their first child. And I got locked up, and then when they asked me about, do you know this Kenny Wong selling drugs? I said, yeah, there's only one Kenny Wong, me. They said, no, there's another Kenny Wong. No, that guy's a pussy. So I ate up that fucking, that drug part for him so he could stay outside. And he only got 3 years of probation for affiliation, that's it. No drug charges, no nothing. Because right back then, because of the Rockefeller law, cocaine or crack, cocaine was less charged, but it was still pretty steep. But with the crack laws that I knew a lot of Jamaicans from the Junction, Flatbush from Junction, just a couple of grams, they got fucking 20 to life already. That was sad. So I knew that I wasn't gonna come out. So, and why have my other fucking friend, he has a newborn child. I have nothing. I wasn't even married. So, I'll take it up. It was a stupid way, but, that's how we grew up. That's how we were. So since we have the same last name, same name, that's not a Kenny Wong. That guy's a fucking pussy. I did it. I did it. Because my lawyer got into agreement We actually, all the ghost shadows inside when we were locked up, we actually talked to each other through secret letters mailing out to our parents, our family, and sending it out to the other jail. We say, yeah, listen, there is no fucking fighting because my boss, Robin, turned on us. He cooperated. So there was no way we were going to trial. And we would have all fucking been burnt, 20, 30 years, maybe even more. Some of us might even get life. So we said that we need to fucking not cooperate, but get our lawyers to get a fucking plea deal. Let's just plead it out. 15, 20 years, let's just take it. How much time can we do? 20 years, we do fucking 17. All right? 10 years, we do fucking eight and some change. All right? That's fine. Let's just do this time. So we all agreed upon it. So that's why I was able to go to the plea agreement and say, you know what? This is what I'm going to plead to. I sold drugs. I did loan sharking. They caught me in New Orleans with fucking $30,000 cash in my backpack. And that was one of the things that they said, tax evasion. What else? For armed robbery, for attempted murder, conspiracy to murder. But in the RICO law, they only need two charges. So I admitted to 2, drug dealing and participated in the conspiracy of murder. So my category was supposed to be category 4. It was brought up to 30 years. But for some reason, I had a plane ticket on the day of the murder of the two Tongans and East Broadway Mobile Station. I had a plane ticket going to New Orleans. It was my name, but somebody else went besides me. So they couldn't use it. They couldn't prove that I was the person that I was there with the hit. So what happened is that they knocked that off. They said that, you know what, you're not directly involved in it, so we're going to give you conspiracy to murder participating. So they dropped it to 15 years or something like that. And then for some reason, my lawyer, which was a freaking public defendant, he worked really freaking hard. Better than the paid fucking lawyers that just keep on asking for money and have no results, and you end up doing fucking 25 to life when you could have done a 10 to life or whatever, 10 years. He knocked down a few more years. And at the end, I got 10. It was a good deal. So I did the time, came home, came in time just to see those 2 buildings fall, which was heartbreaking, but at least I came home. Cemetery shooting, that was one of the things that we hired some outside help from Dallas that came up to shut up the BTK, the boss of the BTK, Amigo's funeral. So we won't let him live in peace, and we won't let him die in peace. Because he took away 2 of our dearest friends, Kern Zai and Duck Singh. Kern Zai, you know Kern Zai. Kern Zai actually went to school with me in Shipshead Bay. They hurted me and Shorty the most because we actually grew up together. And you see him all the time when we come down to Borough, sometimes when he comes down with us. So that's how my life ended. Being in jail for all those years, came back home in 2001, and eventually, there's one thing good about feds, taught you a lot of trades. That's why I'm a construction supervisor nowadays.
Cameras rolling. Action.
With the affiliation with Chinatown gangs and the infrastructure with versus the triads in Hong Kong and China, this is what I know. What I know. I can only say that what I know and what the elders used to tell me when I was a kid. I had none of those sit and listen to their stupid stories. The triads in Hong Kong were basically they grew when they were rebelling against the repressions of the Manchurian dynasty. So they were rebelling against outsiders. That's how they formed under Dr. Sun Yat-sen. So they were organized to rebel against, and they eventually they became local thugs. All right. With us and Chinatown gangs, we were just protecting ourselves from outsiders. We were picked on from all other races, blacks, Hispanics, especially whites. Whites usually fucking call us chinks. We just bonded together as gangs to fight off of them. And then eventually we led to what we are now. Back then, we actually put the fucking Italians down. We ain't afraid of the Italian mafia. We can find them, they can't find us. To them, we all look alike. To them, we know exactly what they fucking look alike, and we're gonna hunt them now. So the Italians, I'm not saying they're afraid of us, but they don't want to mess with us because they know that we're not a force to mess with. We don't let go. Like I said, we're like the fucking snapping jaw of a pit bull. Once we snap on, we're not letting go. You're gonna have to chop our fucking head off before we let go. So they don't want that type of problem with us. Back in the years when my uncle was growing up, they already had a fucking war, the Italians and the Chinese gangs. And I'll tell you this on recording, we fucking won, all right? Like I said, they don't recognize who the fuck is who. We know how to get them. They have a base, they have a pattern. We don't have a pattern. Sometimes we take the subway, sometimes we take the car service, sometimes somebody else drives. You're gonna have to be really into our culture in order for you guys to find us. If you run into us, you're fucking lucky. That's your lucky day. And our unlucky day. But when we find you, it's not luck. It's per research, and we know how to fucking find you. We know how to hunt people down. And the Chinatown infrastructure is that we got a whole bunch of Langjai, which are soldiers. Back in the days before my time, how they recruit them was we go to schools, high schools, and say, "Yay, come on, kid, come with us." And we initiate them in. It's forceful. We actually force them. If you don't go with us, and we see you in another fucking gang, we're gonna kick your ass and we're gonna kill you. So eventually, if they're scared enough they're just kids. So they probably say, you know what, I'll join you guys. I'll join you guys for protection. For protection. That's how it was. That's how it started. That's how it used to be before my time. During our time, it was all fucking basically voluntary. We wanted to be part of it because we thought that was a cool thing to do. We had money, we had girls, we had fame, mainly because of girls and money, and we had fun. We had fun, which we thought it was fun. When it's peaceful, it's fun. When it's war, you see your comrades or your friends die in front of you. That's not fun. Nowadays, when I think about it, it's kind of shameful that I went through that time. Seeing my friends die. Okay, those are the soldier level. Now you got the daima, okay? In a gang, there could be 3, 4 daima, right? Each daima could have 10 to 20 kids, the soldiers to follow him, all right, to work for him. And then from the daimas, there's only one or two dailos. The dailos are a couple of them, probably like 2, 3 of them that hold a couple daimas. It's like, the hierarchy, it's less of people, they're just controlling. It's like business management. You got a manager, supervisor, a VP, and then eventually you go to freaking the CEO. All right, when it gets to the CEO, the long tao, the ding yeah. There's only one. One controls that gang. And he's usually in partners. People always see that, they got to listen to the association like Onlyang or Tongan or the fucking Hipsig. No, we don't fucking listen to those old mans. We're their hired helps. Right? They give us money. They hire us. We're the street dogs. We're the gangs. We're the triads. They go to our boss of bosses, the thing, yeah. And tell them, I need some help. Got some problem here, got some business deals here, and I need your help. So that's when they put down the order, and it shoots down all the way down to the lower levels to carry out the dirty deeds. That's how Chinatown gangs work. The Onlyang is just association. Hip Sing is just a merchants association. that affiliate, how they affiliate with us is that they use us to do their dirty work. We get paid for it. That's fine. I get paid. You get your deal going on. Everybody is fine. One hand washes the other. But if a lot of people always misinterpret that, the tongues are the fucking powerful. Fuck the tongues. Fuck the omens. Who the fuck are they? They can't do shit. They come to me and they start disrespecting me. I'll smack the shit out of them. All that freaking fake tooth that they have, all them gold tooth, would have been flying across the freaking street. That's what it always did. So, but they always use pressure and money to force out. If I don't like this guy, I want him out. They force it to a thing there. If you have a strong-minded thing there, everything works out fine, because they're gonna protect us. Say, yo, those are my kids. Lay the fuck off. My people. Who the fuck are you? We could take you out. You dislike one of our people, we dislike you back. We'll come and fucking take your ass out. But when you have a weak-minded CEO like we did, Robin, he was scared of the fucking the Liang with the Chang brothers, Chen Wing. He was scared of them. I said, what the fuck is you scared about? When my dad was alive, this motherfucker was a wife beater, Pai Gao, working as a Pai Gao for my dad. My dad wasn't dead. He still would have been fucking working for us. So who the fuck is he? Regardless of how he used to be with my dad. But he shot up there. He's still a fucking businessman that wants to hire us to do his dirty deeds. So who is he to be afraid of? Nobody. He's nothing to be afraid of. He has nothing. You got money to fucking send somebody to come and kill us? I hear we catch wind. Who the fuck is gonna come and get us? And if we find out that it's you that put a hit on us, you and your family's dead. And it'll actually put that example out to the other people not to fuck with us. So that's how the Chinatown gangs are different from the triads. It works a similar way, but we're not in connection with the government like they are. They back in Hong Kong, they have connections with the Taiwanese government. I wouldn't say the Taiwanese government, the nationalists, Kuomintang, right? Because Chiang Kai-shek actually was a fucking dog himself, a military dog. He created all this shit. He brought all the gangs to China, to Taiwan. He started in Shanghai with the fucking Green Gang, the Green Gang, Qingbong, and then eventually went to Taiwan. Utilized the fucking the Bamboo Gang, Zhong Bong, and we had affiliation with them too. The Liang actually have affiliation with Taiwan, with Chiang Kai-shek's son. A lot of Chinatown gangs in America has affiliation from them. As you know from United States history, back in the Ronald Reagan years when Ronald Reagan was running for president, there was this his opponent from the Democrat, I think Giovanni, whatever. They actually had some affiliation with the Taiwan gangs. The Taiwan government was actually drawing money to interfere with the election. So that was a big thing back then too. If you research it back to the election histories, so the Chinese were actually doing that too. So Chen Jiqiu, the online he got kicked out of the fucking country because he was trying to pay into fucking politics during that time. He was a Democrat. So Ronald Reagan fucking didn't like that shit. And when he got elected, he fucking came down in Chinatown hard. And he threw this fucking guy out of the country. That's what I know. Is it true? You guys do some research and go find out, all right? But that's what I know. And besides, how much do I really know? I was just a fucking kid back then. John Gore, the guy that I fought, was actually being paid by my boss to watch after, to give us information if the NYPD, because back then it was used to be Midtown South. They were the vice and squad. They used to come after us for gambling, prostitution. We used to get information from him. if they're coming down on us or not. So John Gore was fucking dirty. Lyndon was working with the DEAs. So he was actually dirty too. He would actually pass information to John Gore, and John Gore would pass some information to us. If there was any fucking federal investigation on us. How do you think we knew about our investigation? You know? That they were coming for us. To be honest with you, cops are dirty just like us back then. I don't know about now. I don't deal with them. But back then, they're just as dirty as us. But the only thing a difference between them and us is that they're licensed. We're not. All right? 杨宗涛, they had a degree, the Flying Dragons. Like I told you before, I grew up with his brother-in-law and sister-in-law. Ah Ling was actually his wife, which I call Ling Jie back then. And Lily and Steven used to run away from home because of their father, and we used to hang out with each other. We grew up with each other in the same household. They live under with me and my mom and them. I never really knew him personally, but when we were kids, we used to just, sneak in the house, take his money, and go play video games with it. Pull a couple bills from his stack, and just run off and hope he doesn't find out, but he knows. He was a big time head of the Flying Dragons. He was dealing with a lot of drugs. He had a connection with the Chuzhou Bongs in Hong Kong. So the initiation process over here in with us is I never went through that because, like I said, my family was the gang, so they didn't even want me in there. But how they did it was that they draw blood from the middle finger, right? The right hand of the middle finger. It's like this, all right? So they drew blood and put in a bowl of water. So all the members have to do it, and we hold some incense, kneel down on Guan Yi Guo, because Guan Yi Guo was supposed to be the god of Yi Hei, We're supposed to look at it for each other, so they incite a bunch of freaking shit from the scripts and say, hey, you guys have to be loyal to your friends, have to be loyal to the gangs, cannot betray. Even until the day you die, you will be one of us. You cannot betray anything. So it's more about inciting the rules and regulations and the code of a gang member. Don't fuck with your boys' girls. Never argue over money. Never argue over a woman. Cannot turn your back against your own people. You cannot betray them. You cannot fuck with cops. All right. All those a whole list of stuff that I don't know because I never got initiated. But when I saw how they initiated, but I started seeing, it was freaking boring, so I walked the fuck out, But that's what I know of, that they pick their blood out of the middle finger from the right hand. Everybody has a drop in it, and everybody has to go do it and take a sip out of it. And after they sip out of it, they have this yellow paper. It's all a bunch of writings in it. And each one of them have to, go by to Guan Yi Guo, passes along, everybody touches it, and they burn it. That's what they call 燒黃紙, burning the yellow paper. That means you might not be born as brothers and sisters, but you will die as brothers and sisters. That's the initiation that I know of in Chinatown gangs. In Hong Kong triads, it's a little bit different. It's a whole bunch of freaking shit. They call it 大龍鳳, 做大戲. 做大戲 means there's going to be one person. They call it 418. They got numbers. That's their 職位. That's their position in the triad. He will be inciting all the scripts and the codes. And there's one that's preparing all the stuff for the initiation, for the ceremony. The initiation is more like a ceremony. It's a big thing. So you got 10, 20 guys that's being initiated in there, right? They all have to bear down to their underwears. Then they get fucking whipped by and each individual one of them, they will go, 要錢定要兄弟, money or brotherhood, all right? Usually it's like, there's like, brotherhood. Nobody will fucking answer. You have money, nobody's gonna fucking answer that question. You want money or you want fucking your brotherhood, right? So it was like a brotherhood initiation. whole bunch of them, 10, 20 of them, butt naked, to the underwears and holding a freaking the incense. The same thing, same ritual, same God, Guan Yi Go, but it's much bigger and it's much grander. Their ceremony than what we do. Ours is much simpler, but we know we just get to the point. You know, listen, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this together. We're gonna be blood brothers. That's the way of drawing the blood, drinking everything. So that means all our blood is mixed together. We're blood brothers now. We're not outsiders no more. That's how the initiation goes over here. Hong Kong triads. They want to come over to New York, come over to the United States. 14K. 14K try to come over to the United States. Very unsuccessful because it's two different cultures. Hong Kong triads, it's basically all Chinese. What I mean is their demeanor and the way of thinking. Brotherhood, but everybody's for themselves in a way. So that's why they always...
14K.
So 14K is basically
Say
the
that
culture.
again, start again.
14K is actually basically a Chinese triad with Chinese culture embedded in them. Going from the Qing dynasty, the Manchurians. We are different. They just Chinese, but sorry to say it, but they say that it's a brotherhood, but actually they're very all to themselves. Every man's for themselves. That's why they have that big freaking ceremony for nothing, and at the end they still fucking stab each other's back. With us, we're very serious with our initiation and our infrastructure. We have a very simple initiation, but we're true to our heart with our brotherhood. We really mean it. All right? So that's the difference with them and us. They are all Chinese. And as a lot of people know, Chinese are a little bit selfish, pretty selfish individually. But we got the best of both worlds. We were raised here. Some of us were born here. Some of us came here when we were kids. Like me, I came here when I was less than 2 years old. I hardly even speak Chinese. I didn't even speak actually. I just wouldn't know how to walk. But we hang out with each other because we're familiar with each other. We're in the same environment, same neighborhood, same background, same race. But our upbringing, because we went to school over here and we watch American TV and cartoon, we're actually American. So that we're split in half. It's Chinese culture and American culture combined together. So we actually have a little bit better sense of moral than the freaking the Chinese triads. Like I said, they can have a ceremony right now, calling each other brothers, patting each other on the shoulder. Next moment, they'd be having a fucking knife to your back. But with us, we really mean what we say. Why do you think they call us Juk Sing? Right? Because we mean what we say. When I say Mike, we're brothers. And we actually mean it. When I see you get beat up, I know that I'm going to get my fucking ass whipped too, because there's like 5 guys against you. If I jump in, it's not going to make the fucking situation better. But I feel better over here because I'm there with you. Even if I get my fucking face broken apart, that I'm there with you because I really mean that when I call you my brother, I really mean that you're my brother. That's why we're Juk Sing, you know? But to them, they see fucking 5 guys beating up on you and they were supposed to be your brother. He'll fucking run the other way. You get what I mean? So that's the difference between them and us. They wanted to fucking come into the United States, but they can't do it. Number one, the common people will not accept them. The Chinese community will not accept them. The Chinese community did not like us because of the violence, but they were better off when we were around because we protected them. We looked out for our community. There's a saying that in Chinatown, in our China, you don't shit where you eat. We don't shit in Chinatown. The only thing that happens is when everybody closes shop, that's when the fucking killings start. Because that's where we're like fucking vampires. We come out at night. We don't shit where we eat. We live down in Chinatown. We eat down in Chinatown. We grew up in Chinatown. Chinatown is our neighborhood, our community. We protect it. With the other triads, when they came over to the United States, they just want to make their fucking money and cut out. So they were trying to use it. Like, people don't know. They don't want them here. Even if the gangs in Chinatown disappeared and they took over, it don't mean a shit. They can't survive. Store owners, local community leaders will fucking start ratting on them to the cops. With us, they don't like us, but they were better off with us because we were protected. With a little bit of money that they give us, to them it was a little, yes, they were mom and pop business, but it's not gonna fucking hurt them. A couple $100 a month, for their safety. And we really mean safety. Nobody goes in there and fuck with them. Like some fucking Italian hotshots, they come to Chinatown and started some trouble. When we see it, we chase them out. You think this is fucking little early? Yo, get your fucking bitch ass back over to Canal Street. This is Chinatown. You don't got nothing to say. I got into a problem with one of those guys. So what happened was that I was at memoir, Bear Street. It was a Sunday afternoon. I don't know why I woke up that early that afternoon. It was approximately like around 5, 6 o'clock. So a family of 3, father, mother, and a son. They drove and they parked there. They were, backed up parallel parking. So this fucking Italian guy behind him was with his girl, all loud and shit with his fucking music, driving a caddy. Shoved his fucking head right into the car, the front of the car, right into the parking spot. And got out of the car and told us, yo, chink, get the fuck out of there. It's my parking spot. So he was arguing. I was here first. I was backing up. I already signaled a light. So he got smacked. I saw it. I fucking dropped my coat. I said, yo, you fucking stupid. You smacking the Chinese in my neighborhood? So I went over there. I fucking smacked him over the head. And I grabbed a baseball bat and I fucking nailed him right on the fucking leg. And he fell on the floor. He said, oh, you don't know who I am? I said, I don't give a fuck who you are. I said, what, you a cop? I said, no, man, I'm not a cop. Fuck you, this and that. You motherfucker, you fucking chick. So I smacked him again. And I hit, and he shut the fuck up. He said, oh, you're gonna hear from me. I said, yo, back your car up before I fucking smash your car and be towed away. So he backed it up and he let the Chinese guy park and he drove away. The Chinese guy didn't thank me. I didn't need him to thank me. I'm pretty sure he was scared of me because I was a gang member. But I felt that I did the right thing for my own community. Right? That's what Chinatown gangs were all about, protecting our own. So that fucking Italian guy went back to his association. He was probably one of those fucking associated guys. Called one of his handler, I would say, a maid guy, and the maid guy probably went to his captain. Captain probably called the fucking Alliang. Excuse me. Called the Alliang. Alliang got my boss, Robin. Robin called me and said, I know it was you, because you're the only one that fucking will start that type of trouble. Why can't you mind my own business? I say, how can I mind my own business when it's happening right in front of my eyes, on my street? I'm not gonna let that fucking pass. I'll let that pass. The fucking towns walk all over us, right? And I told him one thing, because he's scared of my uncle. I said, do you think Kitchai will let you do, will think I'm right or wrong? And he shut the fuck up right away. Now, he might be my boss, but I didn't give a fuck about him. I respect him, but don't back down when you're supposed to support me, right? So they wanted me to go to a fucking sit down. There was 2 incidents. It was that and the fireworks, because they were taking up our Mott Street and Canal Street. They were encroaching into our Mott Street. And they were actually kicking out, some black guys and Spanish guys, kicking our kids to fucking, yo, you can't sell there, it's my spot. So I went down there, I smacked the shit out of everybody, fucking pistol whip everybody, all the fucking blacks and Italians. I said, motherfucker, what the fuck you talking about? Your spot. Don't you understand? Don't you know where the fuck you are? You're in Chinatown, bitch. They're working for Italians. Yeah? So that, including the incident with the Italian guy, they called me over to their association, which was in Broome Street, around the corner where the pizza shop is. So me and 2 guys, I asked 2 guys to come with me. Tony came, Andy, his brother came. We put on our bulletproof vests. It was fucking summertime. We still put on a bulletproof vest, t-shirt. We look like fucking cops. I swear to God, we look like cops. grabbed my fucking backpack. My backpack was fucking guns in there. Once we walked to the fucking inside, I had a grenade. I fucking pulled the grenade down. I said, yo, you looking for me? I heard you guys were looking for me, right? So we all sat down, put the fucking grenade down. Yo, there's like, what, 30, 40 of you guys? There's only 3 of us. We're ready to go. I didn't plan to go home tonight. All right? Did you plan to go home? So the captain came, no. We can't. We wanted you guys to come so I could have my guy formally apologize to you. What? You fucking got me here to apologize? I thought we were coming here to fucking have. I was supposed to come here and party. Why the fuck you think I bought the champagne? I told them, we weren't scared of them. They. I'll tell you one thing. Not for nothing. Some of the times are really, really fucking mad cool. All right? I met some Italians that was so fucking cool, like the Gambino guys. I'm not talking about John Gotti. Not those fucking losers. The John Gotti crews. I'm talking about the guys from 14th Avenue and 86th Street. Nobody knew that was the Sicilian crew, right? Those were the real Gambino guys. Those were the powerhouse. They were the ones that are the true fucking Italian mafia. Those are badass fucking Italians. Why I see them badass? Because they were like a brotherhood from the old world. They were real brotherhood. They don't kill each other. Now, over fucking measly fucking $50,000. What the fuck is $50,000? How are you gonna fucking kill your child with it? Over 50 fucking grand. Even if it's fucking $500,000. I can't put... Mike, will you kill me over fucking $500,000?
Never.
I will never do that too. It's only fucking money. You know? All the history that we went through, it can't happen.
Ken and Mike talk on childhood. Action.
Mike, Shorty, Robert, Peter. I never thought Mike would become a cop. He was an asshole just like me when we were kids. All right? Cambodian Peter, Lobatao, Robert, and Shorty. So, funny thing is that we were all in different gangs. All right. But one thing we had in common, we grew up together. We went to the same school. Some of us went to the same school, high school. But we became friends before all that gang stuff. So we were all able to maintain our friendship even after we joined other gangs. Mike and Peter were affiliated with the Fuk Ching. I was with the Go Shadow. Lobato was Dong'an. Different gangs. Shorty, he was kind of with us and kind of with the Fuk Ching. He was probably like the ambassador. Well, actually, I'll put him as a mascot, okay? for both gangs, okay? That's the funny way of putting him, right? He's still my boy, though. He's one of my dearest friends. We were different gangs, but we didn't start off in joining other different gangs. We were just kids around the neighborhood that we were friends, you know? Like Mike, like that incident with the people at Merle, at the train station, MVM train station. Me and him we caught up to the guy, we started beating him up. Robert didn't even he was just got out the school door, dropped his fucking backpack and chased after us, knowing that we were about to beat up somebody. All right. Cambodian Peter dropped his car and came. Shorty was with Cambodian Peter. Also, Tanajai was there. Aguan was there. So there was like 6, 7 people beating up on one fucking guy. But that guy asked for it. Why the fuck did he had to mess with Mike? You know, he messed with one of us. We all go. During that time, we were already in different gangs. We were different gangs. But funny thing is that Fuk Ching and Go Shadow were always pretty friendly. Like Mike's cousin, Albert, he was hanging out with a gang like them, Fuk Ching. But for some reason, that fucking asshole was my friend too. He was always hanging out with me. We were always hanging together. All of us were always together. Remember days back in Kings Highway Blimpies, after school? There's a whole bunch of Fuk Ching there, a whole bunch of Ghost Shadows there, and we'll all hang out together. It was kind of funny. It was I would say a childhood bond that can never be broken. I'm 52 now, but we're able to maintain that friendship up to today. So you know how real we are. We're not faking a funk, you know. We were friends back then, and we'll still be able to be friends nowadays. If you ever catch us on Facebook, you'll see that we always have a Sunday party. You know, we're having a reunion soon. You know, with all our friends from Sheepshead Bay and Merle. Mike never went to both of those schools, neither of those schools, but he was still one of us. He was actually the center of us. All right, he was the person that runs the functions. All right. And to be honest, when I first got out of jail, I saw him in a police uniform. I was shocked. I said, "You fucking guy, you're a fucking cop now. Huh? You're a cop, man." And first thing I said to him, "You'll never take me alive." Okay, I made a joke out of that shit. And you know, I actually had some worries that I would mess his job up because of him being a cop and knowing me as a ex-gangster, ex-con. Like you guys know, state jail, yes, there's hard criminals, but when it comes to federal crime, that's a major crime. And for Mike to be a NYPD and affiliated with somebody that was in organized crime, I was worried that I would affect him. So throughout these years, I never really stayed in touch with him that way. But nowadays it's different. I'm just a middle-aged man that's a construction contractor. I live my life clean. Don't hang out with those people no more. And I guess that I'm clean enough to stand next to Mike now, without going to giving him problems. That's why I left the Brooklyn neighborhood for 35 years. I didn't want to affect other people's lives. What I did was my responsibility to hold and my consequences. I can't burden other people with it. Besides all that past, I'm pretty happy of how my life is. Simple, and be able to hang out with my childhood friends again and have a good laugh every Sunday. That's about it. Mike, we beat up so many freaking people. Triangle. Even freaking in Golden Kill, we used to drive us around in your car when we were kids, and we used to go up to there, and there was some green dragons up there, which I know, but then they also had the KPs, the Korean Power, that came after me because I went out with one of their girls. So we had fights there. We have fight in Playboy Billiards, freaking Roller Palace in Sheepshead Bay. You know, we used to go there. For $5, we used to roller skate the whole afternoon. You know, some part shameful, some part mostly fun because we were all together. Fortunately, we're still alive, and God bless and rest the soul with rest in peace with the ones that are not with us that used to be with us. But like I said, all I want nowadays is just a simple life. You know, all our friends be able to have a meal together, talk and laugh. You know, have a good laugh, and that's it.
I've been a police officer a little over 26 years with the NYPD. I started out as a beat cop and worked my way up to be a detective. The whole time, I was hiding my past. Everyone's heard the story of a cop infiltrating a gang. My story was the other way around. The gangster who became a cop. For 26 years, I had to hide the truth from everyone. The NYPD, the gangs, and even my own family. The story that I'm going to tell is going to shock a lot of people. Almost every single neighborhood, you have gangs. And I was in the center of it all. I grew up poor. We didn't have much. We lived 11 to the apartment in Chinatown. Back in those days, if you weren't a gang member, you were vulnerable. I was a victim of bullying, and I chose to join a gang for protection. It was in 1986 when I joined the Phúc Chinh gang. I got in on the ground floor. It was Cambodian Peter, myself, Big Chicken, Carrot Head, and Shorty. We were the original 5 members.
We all stick together. White Tiger, Green Dragon, Blue Shadow.
All the Chinese gangs had an understanding. As long as you stayed on your own turf, you wouldn't get messed with. In the Phúc Chinh gang, I was safe. It gave me confidence in the way I dressed, acted, and spoke, because I knew I had the backing of the gang behind me. And I had the power over life and death. We weren't afraid to do what we needed to do. On the street level, to get money, extortion, counterfeit money, credit card fraud, gun running, and the drug business. Every gang had a piece of the action. Always had cash, a lot of cash.
And they all together, they made it big. They were that good at what they were doing.
I was on top of the world. Then came BTK. They didn't follow the street rules that the Chinatown gangs had. It was BTK that caused a lot of the chaos.
So Chinatown started to get wild.
The homicide rate in New York City was around 2,400 a year.
I got shot a couple of times, and I'm lucky. I'm still here.
I went to a party with the gang. Went to the bathroom. This guy comes out with like 7, 8 guys. They said to me, "Binandong." So I told them, "Phúc Chinh." Next thing I knew, I was stabbed.
The people I grew up with, they die, they get shot, they go to prison. It was like a light switch. I needed to get out, and I applied for the New York City Police Department. On paper, it shows me as a responsible, law-abiding citizen. I only got 1 traffic violation, but getting into the NYPD isn't something that happens overnight. It takes years. And the whole time, I was still actively involved with the gang, but I stayed under the radar. Then one day, I got a phone call. You're going to be a police officer in less than 24 hours. You're getting sworn in. I had the opportunity to get out, and I took it. So I disappeared. I sold all my businesses, disassociated myself with all my friends. I got rid of everything. So nobody knew I was going to be a police officer. I spent 9 years as a uniformed cop. And when they gave me my beat assignment, I'm working in Chinatown. I started noticing that my 2 lives ended up not being that different. The culture of the NYPD. No snitching, no ratting. Just go up and search anyone you want, stop anyone you want. I guess I went from one gang to another gang. The biggest gang in New York, you could say. The gang life was a thing of the past, but now it's time to reveal the truth. I was able to convince my friends and former gang members, some of the biggest players in New York City's Asian gangs, to come out and share these stories and tell what really happened. Who did it, how we did it, when we did it. We're gonna put the pieces together to rewrite New York City's Chinatown gang history.